Hey, greetings everybody, it is Gul'dan here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Stay a while and listen as we move from 4 years before the Dark Portal to 3 years before the Dark Portal. We are getting quite close. As a frame of reference, the book that we're going to be reading, The Rise of the Horde, is pretty much entirely encompassed within that 1 year before the Dark Portal. So when we finish this chapter and a little bit of the next one, we'll jump over and read that novel. This one's called Mannoroth the Destructor. I'm guessing this is bringing Mannoroth onto the scene. You know he's one of the agents of the Burning Legion. They don't really know exactly his backstory. Maybe we'll get a little bit of that now. He just sort of already existed in War of the Ancients trilogy. We know he's not one of the three, or one of the two Eredar leaders that defected, Gul'dan being one of those two. Gul'dan was pleased with the Horde's victory, despite Velen's escape. He would have preferred to see the Prophet dead. Better yet, he would have preferred to see Velen captured so that the Demon Lord himself could humiliate and torture him. But it was only a matter of time before the Prophet met his end. Of greater concern to Gul'dan was the task of conquering Shattrath. The Horde had seized Karabor, but only by harnessing the Dark Star's power. That was a trick they couldn't use again. Moreover, the warlock technique of infusing young orcs with fel magic to make them more powerful was not as promising as it had once seemed. Gul'dan knew that Gul'dan and his followers needed something more, something greater, if they were to take Shattrath. Gul'dan and his warlocks had previously empowered their kin with fel energies, but this process only granted them limited strength. Drinking the blood of a demon was a far superior method that would give the orcs otherworldly power. This act would also complete their corruption and shackle them to the Burning Legion's will forever. Gul'dan revealed these plans to Gul'dan, reminding him of the power he would be granted if he continued loyally serving the Demon Lord. The warlock had not forgotten that promise. Orchestrating the corruption of his race was a small price to pay for godhood. Yeah, plus he's stated the entire time he does not care. He has zero craps to give. Gul'dan convinced Blackhand to arrange a gathering of the clans atop a mountain near the citadel where he would empower the orcs. He never told Blackhand what the source of this power would be. He told him only that he had discovered a new way of wielding fel magic. As Blackhand ordered the clans to assemble, Gul'dan called upon his great power and opened a temporary gateway to the Black Temple. Through it, a pit lord known as Mannoroth the Destructor emerged. Okay. This monstrous horned demon was one of the Legion's greatest generals, and he had led countless assaults against its enemies. Mannoroth radiated a power and malevolence that Gul'dan had never experienced. Even the warlock, who feared little, cowered in the demon's presence. Gul'dan went to great lengths to keep Mannoroth a secret, informing only his most trusted Shadow Council warlocks of the demon and the reason for his appearance on Draenor. Yet Ner'zhul learned the truth. In their arrogance, Gul'dan and his Shadow Council had often kept the Elder Shaman close by so that he could witness the gradual corruption of his race. They believed he was too broken and cowardly to ever act on what he saw. They were wrong. Ner'zhul had spent years lost in the depths of self-loathing and regret, but when he discovered the plans to have orcs drink demon blood, something changed. If he didn't act, he knew that his entire race would be doomed. Ner'zhul mustered his courage and set out to warn someone about Gul'dan's intentions. He was aware that most of the orc chieftains would ignore his words. They were too loyal to Blackhand and the Horde, too drunk on the intoxicating might of fel power. So he's not imprisoned, he's just chilling there, letting them torture him and psychologically and emotionally abuse him. And then when he finally is over, he's like, alright, I'm gonna leave. And not only just leave, but go clear across to the far most opposite place you could go on Draenor, which is from Shadowmoon over to the Frostfire Mountains, Bladespire. However, there was one who was not like the others, Chieftain Durotan. He'd become increasingly reluctant to wage war against the Draenei, and this news had reached Ner'zhul. If there was anyone who would heed the shaman's warnings, it was the Frostwolves' noble leader. As Gul'dan and his warlocks prepared for the meeting of the orcs, Ner'zhul planted an anonymous missive to Durotan among Shadow Council orders that were bound for the Frostwolf clan. In the message, he urged the chieftain not to follow Gul'dan's command at the upcoming gathering, or Durotan and his people would suffer a fate worse than death. The Shadow Council would never know of Ner'zhul's actions. So that's what they mean when they said he set out. They mean like he set a plan in motion. And his plan was sneak a letter in. And look, they're saying he never got caught. It worked out for him. Hopefully they never read this book. So again, we get no true backstory, but they are calling Mannoroth a pit lord, so that's just one type of demon. So that would be another interesting thing. Where do these demons come from? Since they're all just a manifestation of various corrupted races for the most part. Where did the Fellhounds? Where did the Doom Guard? Where did the Fell Guard, I think they were called? Where did the Pit Lords? Where do these things come from? I think that's interesting to try to figure out. I mean, you could just say, okay, well, a couple of them were just generally what the evil demons looked like. And maybe that's it. But then there would have to be a place for them to dwell. So I'm not sure. I guess it's not super important. What does matter in this episode is that Mannoroth has appeared, the same one that we read about in the War of the Ancients trilogy. He's back doing his thing again, and I guess he's gonna just offer himself up as like, hey, just leech on me. Everybody can suck my blood. And some of the potentially Durotan is going to get word of this and be like, okay, no, we're going to break off. You know that some have to stay good. I don't know that they're going to stay good in time for the first game. Orcs and humans, they might be pretty much evil in that game still. They might still be pretty much evil in Warcraft 2. It might not be until Warcraft 3 that you start to humanize them a little bit, from the video game perspective. All right, another episode in Pipes 5x5. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.